Hello, welcome to the Villages, Florida. My name is David. I'm a realtor with Florida Realty Investments, and every week we take a look at what's happening in the Villages real estate market. We'll take a look at long-term trends, and we'll also investigate the differences between the different regions of the Villages. I have an in-house tool here that I'll show you some of the interesting things that we can do that you won't find anywhere else. I'll save that for just a little bit later. But a couple of things to note. First, we produce the show every week. Make sure you check the date to ensure you're getting the most recent information. We produce the show every Monday. The second is that all of this information is drawn from the multiple listing service. We do not have access to the VLS. All of the information you're going to see tonight is from the MLS entirely. If you find this information valuable, please consider liking and or subscribing. It really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. If you're a buyer and you're trying to determine a good price for an area that you're interested in or a good price for a home that you're interested in buying, please consider utilizing our tools, our research, and our data. I can show you on a Zoom call how we can zoom in on any area of the Villages or any type of property that you're looking for, and I'll show you a little example of that as we go forward. If you want to reach me, you can either reach me at davidisinflorida@gmail.com or through our website, davidisinflorida.com. Please visit us and say hello. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at what's happening in the real estate market in the Villages this week. We start every week by taking a look at interest rates. What we're looking at on this chart is the yield on the US 10-year Treasury note. This is the interest rate that mortgage rates most closely track. They're usually about 3 percentage points higher than the US 10-year rate. And looking at this graph, you can see that from a low of under 0.5% in the beginning of 2020, we're now threatening to take out the highs of last year, which were over 5%. We'll have to wait and see what the threat of higher rates will do to real estate prices. Let's take a look now at the Villages specifically. I'm going to start by showing you this map on which you can see every single active listing on the MLS in the Villages currently. On the map you're looking at now, the size of the circle denotes the size of the home, and the color of the circle denotes its price per square foot. I'm going to show you a lot of different ways that we can look at this data, but starting with this one, this is every active listing, size of the circle, the size of the home, and the color of the circle representing its price per square foot. The more expensive per square foot, the lighter the circle, and the darker the circle, the less expensive per square foot. So I'm going to take a few minutes to demonstrate what this tool can do to give you some idea how we can spot values or narrow our search down to properties of particular interest. What you're looking at here is exactly the same information as before. This is all active listings. Here, the size of the circle is the size of the property, but the color of the circle denotes the year that the home was built. So the darker the circle, the older the home, and the lighter the circle, the more recently it was constructed. Looking at this map, it's easy to spot the new construction in the northern areas of the Villages. And here we take one last look at listings in this format. This is all listings in the Villages currently. And on this map, the color of the circle denotes the price reduction. In other words, the darker the circle, the greater the price reduction from the original list price. So if you're looking to determine which homes have seen dramatic price reductions where sellers might be particularly motivated, a tool like this could be particularly helpful. But enough about the tool. Let me show you how I've broken the Villages down into 4 different regions. You can get an idea as to the differences between the regions, both in terms of the houses for sale, their size, price, and other variables. This is the entirety of the Villages. This is the area that I'm calling the North. It is bounded on the north by Highway 42 and on the south by Highway 66. On these maps, we're back to the original formatting where the size of the circle denotes the size of the home and the color of the circle denotes its price per square foot. The more expensive per square foot, the lighter the circle, the larger the home, the larger the circle. This is the area that I'm calling the Mid-North. It is everything south of 466 and north of 466A. These are only active listings on the MLS. This is the area that I'm calling the Mid-South, everything south of 466A and north of Highway 44. Keep in mind, I'm going to be analyzing each of these regions individually and comparing them to each other so you can get a good idea as to the differences between the different regions of the villages. And this is the area that I refer to as the South, which is everything south of Highway 44. I would note that in the South, specifically, the VLS system has more listings currently than the MLS. But even if MLS had more listings than VLS, you really need to see properties on both marketplaces or you will not see everything for sale here. Now we'll take a look at some longer term charts, see if we can get some idea as to trends. Here we're looking at the total number of active listings in the villages, which today number 398, down very slightly from the 401 of last week, but significantly higher than the 345 active listings the same week a year ago. Currently, homes in the villages for sale range from just under $150,000 to just under $1.3 million. Now we'll take a look at list price per square foot. This is the median list price for all properties currently listed on the MLS. This week down very slightly to 259.32 from 259.91 of last week. But this is still down from the 261.01 that was in effect the same week a year ago. And we are barely higher than the lowest price that we've seen since we started doing the show 2 years ago. The lowest median price per square foot that we've seen thus far is 257.89, and that was on the 17th of July of last year. We can also look at this very briefly. This is the median time on the market for all listings. This week up slightly to 46 days from 44 days last week. Pretty much the same as the 43 days that was in effect for homes on the market this time a year ago. So let's take a look at the differences between the different regions of the villages. As you might recall, I've broken the villages down into four regions, the North, Middle South, and South. And what you see for each of them is how many properties are available for sale, what the median size is, and what the lowest, median, and highest priced homes are in each area. So for example, in the North, there are 185 homes for sale. Median price is 348,000. Least expensive home is 150,000, and the most expensive is $1,050,000. In the South, there are 50 homes for sale. The least expensive is 250,000. The median is 412,000, and the most expensive home in the South is $1,285,000. Looking at these graphs, you can get a pretty good idea as to the differences between the different regions of villages. You can see how many homes are available in each of the price points in each of the regions. The next graph we're going to look at is going to take a look at what sizes of homes are available, but this is the graph where you can compare the differences between sizes and prices for the different regions of the villages. Here we're looking at all listings once again, and we're looking at listings by size. So for example, you can see how many homes are available in each of the size ranges in the North, Middle South, and South, and all regions is villages as a whole. One last look at the entirety of all listings. Here we're looking at how many homes are available in each price segment in each of the regions of villages. This graphic may make it simple to understand. For example, you can see that the $300,000 to $400,000 range on the left price range is the most popular price range here in the villages. There are 44 homes in the Mid-North for sale in this price range, 9 in the Mid-South, 95 in the North, and 17 in the South. So now let's dig in a little bit and take a look at what comprises this market. We think this chart is particularly illuminating. It shows the number of new listings and the number of homes going pending each week. Obviously, new listings entering the market and pending home sales leaving the market gives us our most timely indication of demand. What we can see last week were there were 48 new listings and 56 homes went pending. The previous week there were 48 homes that were newly listed and 47 went pending. And a year ago there were 42 new listings and 49 went pending. On this graph, the black line is pending home sales and the red line is new listings. If new listings are greater than homes going pending, then supply in the market will increase, and you would think that prices would be under pressure. So we do like to see pending home sales meet or exceed the number of new listings. we started keeping this graph, which is a simple arithmetic graph showing the difference between new listings and homes going pending. The zero line represents as many new listings as homes going pending. Prints above the zero line are positive. They mean that there are more homes going pending that are being listed. Prints below the zero line mean that there are more homes being listed than going pending. We are positive 8 this week. So now we'll take a closer look at the homes that went pending last week. They went pending at a median price of $261.74, up almost $20 from the $243.60 that the median price was for homes that went pending the week before, and this is stronger than the $255.90 that homes that went pending a year ago were trading at. Here's a definite bright spot. This is the median time on the market for the homes that went pending last week. 21 days, less than half of the 45 days of the previous week, and better than the 27 days on the market that was in effect the same week a year ago. Another chart showing great improvement. Here we're looking at the price change for the homes that went pending last week, i.e. how much did they reduce their price from the original asking price. Last week, the homes that went pending only had to reduce their asking price by 4.54%, a big improvement from the 6.5% that sellers were offering the week before, but this is still worse than the 3.72% median price change for the homes that went pending the same week a year ago. So now let's quickly look at sales. These are the homes that actually closed last week. They numbered 35, up from 30 the week before, and almost identical to the 34 homes that closed the same week a year ago. Homes that closed in the villages last week ranged in price from $155,000 to $1,600,000. And more signs of strength. This is the price per square foot realized on the homes that closed last week, up to $262 a foot from $254 a foot the week before, and improved from the $253 a foot for the homes that closed the same week a year ago. And we're going to finish by taking a look at listings again, and we're going to look at what percentage of listings have reduced their asking price from the original listing price. This week, 54.27% of all listings in the villages have reduced their asking price. This is worse than the 53.87% of listings that had reduced their asking price last week. And this is even worse than the 53.33% that had reduced their asking price the same week a year ago. And here we look at what the percent of decrease actually was. Keep in mind, the previous graph was what percentage had reduced their price. This is the percent of the decrease. This week, the median decrease for all listings is a 4.91% decrease. This is worse than the 4.79% decrease of last week, and it's worse than the 4.78% decrease that sellers had to offer the same week a year ago. That is this week's look at the village's real estate market. If you're a buyer, please consider using our data-driven approach. I can show you how we can make you feel pretty confident that the price you're offering on a particular home is a reasonable one. Similarly, if you're a seller and you're trying to maximize your return in a reasonable period of time, we can show you with our data and our tools how you can maximize your equity. So that is the week. If you have any questions about real estate in the villages or around the villages or life in the villages itself, please reach out to me at either DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com or through our website, DavidisinFlorida.com. Be happy to answer any questions you have, research any property that you have interest in, or just discuss life in the villages. Hope to hear from you. Take care.